Today we will talk about the African wild dog breed. Evidence from the fossilized remains of the African wild dog showed that this canine existed in sub-Saharan Africa for thousands of years. However, it remains questionable whether it evolved exclusively in this part of the world or could be found elsewhere. In the 20th century, the population of the African wild dog contracted dramatically as most African lands were occupied by people. They killed native species of animals in numbers and deprived the dogs of their main source of food. In addition, so-called wildlife managers systematically exterminated wild dogs. These species were also accused of altering prey numbers more than other predators. This claim is true, but only partially true. In fact, wild dogs hunt in open spaces and rely on the chase to catch up with their prey, so that they can drive large numbers of animals. But animals generally return undisturbed to their pastures and graze peacefully even in the presence of resting wild dogs. The persecution against the African wild dog came to an end when their behavioral patterns were thoroughly studied and documented. In the mid-1980s, their massive killing was officially banned in 6 African regions where the vast majority of dogs live: Botswana, Kenya, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. This wild canine avoids people and rarely approaches their settlements. It sometimes attacks an unattended sheep or goat, but never makes an attempt on the life of an individual domestic animal, which is the part of the livestock guarded by a herder. The African wild dog exists in well-organized nomadic groups of 6 to 20 specimens. Larger groups of animals had been more common before these species reached the brink of extinction. Their usual quarry is antelope, but the hunting group can also cope with much larger prey, e.g. wildebeest. They also add rodents and birds to their diet. Aggression against domestic animals is fairly rare, but unattended specimens may be preyed upon by wild dogs. The African wild dog is an extremely sociable animal, and the group can be observed resting. Dogs stick closer together and keep fairly close individual distances. This type of close collaboration allows these species to survive and reproduce. The group is led by the alpha male and the alpha female, and only this pair can reproduce. The family is of great importance to the African wild dog. The pack collectively brings in the pups of a dominant pair and cares for old or sick members. At the age of 18 months to 2 years, females must leave their own pack and find a new one, but males stay with their native herd over the course of their lives, which last approximately 11 years. Unfortunately, this intelligent animal is now attributed to endangered species. Most of the vast territories of its habitat are occupied by humans. The African wild dog easily catches diseases spread by livestock, thus further reducing its population. To this day, African farmers who fear their domestic animals organize hunting expeditions to exterminate a maximum number of these dogs. The African wild dog, also called Cape hunting dog or painted dog, Lycaon, jackal tricolor, usually roams the open plains and scattered forests of sub-Saharan Africa. The African wild dog has long legs, having only 4 toes per foot, unlike other dogs, which have 5 toes on the front. The dog's Latin name means painted wolf, which refers to the animal's irregular mottled coat, which features patches of red, black, brown, white, and yellow fur. Each animal has its own unique coat pattern, and with huge jaws and very large rounded, erect bat ears. Although it resembles some domestic dogs, it differs in that it has 4 toes on each foot instead of 5. Wild dogs have thick tails with white tips that can serve as a flag to keep the pack in contact while hunting. African wild dogs measure approximately 75 centimeters at the withers and weigh approximately 18 to 34 kilo. That's all about this breed of dog, and we'll see you in another video.